later.
Well, that's hard to segue into. Over 95% of players don't consider inclusivity important in gaming.
Because it's not. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, a while back,
make it
we went
96?
over this thing called the Capcom survey, where Capcom surveyed its player base to figure out some things. And this is what it came up with. The question was, what do you look for in a Capcom game? Exhilarating gameplay came out first, unique and attractive characters, unpredictable and exciting storylines.
That's fun.
Let's see. Depth replay, memorable BGMs, how difficult it feels to accomplish, novel world. Anyway, so there's really nothing here for DEI inclusion.
Yeah.
And we talked about how this is going to reflect real world. Because, people made the argument, well, it's just Capcom games and that. And part of that is right. If you went and found the Maxis, or, okay, I guess they're not technically Maxis because they're EA now, but if Maxis was still a thing and they had the Sims, SimCity, and all that jazz still under their belt and you were to pull them, chances are most of the people in that poll, let's see if I can bring it up here, in this ratio right here, would be flipped. You'd probably have 82% female with 14% male. Right? And of course, depending on the company and the kind of games they make, that's how that would play out. But for the majority, if you were to superimpose this onto the majority of gamers, I made the argument that real life would probably reflect it, if not more, on the male side. Because female gamers exist, but there's not that many of them.
We are a rare breed.
Yeah.
And I barely classify myself as a gamer
unicorn, and then I distinctly remember the fake gamer girls.
You are a gamer.
I distinctly remember the fake gamer girl trend that happened, where these women would take pictures of them playing games and stuff, and you'd look at it, and it's like, your controller's not even plugged in. What the fuck? Or they've got like an Xbox controller, but they're playing on a PlayStation, and it's like, that's not you playing. You're fake.
And yet they still got popular.
It's so embarrassing.
But anyway, apparently to the survey, 95% of players don't care about inclusivity. I wonder why.
I don't. The thing is that I don't know what it means, but my guess would be no. I know what they mean when they say inclusivity. I want to know what someone who actually first came up with that word actually meant when they talked about it, though. But I think that doing it for the sake of just doing it is often it's not important. If you do it just because you're like, oh, well, I just kind of thought it'd be kind of cool to have this color person or whatever in there. That's a thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not important, but it's aesthetic. It's an aesthetic difference.
It could be done right, it could be done wrong too.
Yeah. And the thing is that if it does it, the thing is that it's not important to the game, though. This is an aesthetic change. If you made this person white, black, or purple, it just changes the way it looks. Does it change the way the game plays or any of these other things? No, it could still be an attractive character. Unless you're talking about inclusivity, like we must include ugly characters, in which case it'd be like, please don't do that. But yeah, I think that we've just. I always want to know what people mean when they actually say these words. But yeah, they say now inclusivity isn't a bad thing at all. In fact, it's always good to see characters from different origins and genders. And the thing is, I'm like, maybe, but it's not important. I think that's the difference. It's not bad in and of itself, but it's not important to me.
It's like this. Say you have a character who is a fighter, but he's gay or trans or whatever. You can make a fighter that is gay, but you can also make a gay fighter. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like a lot of that comes from.
Yeah, and the thing is that the people didn't say that it's a bad thing in this survey. They said that it's not important. And I think I'm going to agree with that. It's not important to me. I will say that there are times where I wish that there was more quote unquote inclusivity, which is to say not inclusivity, but more options. Yes, variety. Thank you, because I was about to say options, and that's not as good. But sometimes, like, I can only pick like one of 3 big buff dudes, and I'm like, I don't want to be a big buff dude. I want to be something small that can run away. So
you know what kills me is this. This hair is damn near impossible for every developer to do. Okay, the shaved head either looks like literally a shell painted on, or it's not even like a buzz cut or shaved. It's like, because the thing is, you see like how it like it's bright here, then it darkens as you go back.
Yeah.
Wait, there's hair there.
The only game I've seen do it decently is actually Throne and Liberty, but they ruined it by putting a stupid design shaved into the hair. And I'm like, you know what? I'll settle for it, but I got like a swirly design on the side of my head if I take a helmet off. And I'm like, I hate that.
Chad's fancy.
Oh, somebody read this real quick.
All right. What's the highlighted sentence?
Yeah.
Okay. Forced inclusivity was never a problem a few years ago. Ever since consultation companies like Sweet Baby Inc. emerged, this unfortunate trend has been forced into the industry, ruining many great games. Sweet Baby has a bunch of notable games working with it, including Santa Monica, Xbox Game Studios, Warner Brothers, Ubisoft, and more. The influence is quite visible in their recent titles as well. Square Enix should be appreciated for being pulled out of the should be appreciated for being pulled out of the list.
Basically,
they should be happy that they've been removed.
I think the word is appreciative, not appreciated.
No, appreciate. Square Enix should be appreciated at Pat for being pulled out of the list. When what they meant to say was pull out, because
for pulling themselves out, because that's a passive term. Being pulled out means that somebody else did it to them, not they did it. So, all right, whatever the grammar in that sentence. Pain. But anyway, one of Sweet Baby's employees even admitted that the company's goal is to burn the industry to the ground, indicating a massive threat to the gaming industry. Nonetheless, this trend needs to stop. Otherwise, we'll see a lot more big budget games fail poorly. Concur.
But yeah,
I mean, the thing is that
this has been a problem since like 2014, though. So,
and it just depends on what kind of inclusivity. I mean, Chad really wants inclusivity for hair. He really, lack of hair. He wants the lack of hair to be very, very a very specific way, and that inclusion
not represented.
Has not been there.
Damn it!
He is not seen right now. Gaming industry. He is unseen.
Oh, poor Chad.
The unseen.
He'll forever be unseen.
Actually, it sounds like a badass name.
I know, dude. You totally. Anytime that you play a game and they don't have your hair type, you are Chad the Unseen.
I might actually start adopting that moniker.
You must. It is fantastic. I am so proud of me right now. Go ahead.
You made a good one there. He'll use it forever now.
I will.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's when they're forcing this stuff in. It's like I was ranting before it got pulled down off of YouTube. If you want to see the full rant, go to Rumble, where it's still up. But anyway, it's like the way they do it now. It's, hey guys, I'm gay. My name is Chad Gay. Oh, by the way, did you know I was gay? And that's all they do throughout the entire thing. It's like you're constantly in your face, or it's in your face and it's a stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly the stereotype. It's like, don't forget, I'm gay, and I'm going to make sure every movement I make reminds you that I'm gay.
What was that
it's
game?
Like, why is that necessary?
That game? There was a game that had like a black character, and they had a, I think it was Black Girl Gamer was the consulting group. I think it might be
Forspoken.
That's it. And the character was nothing but a stereotype, and the whole reason they brought in that group was to not have that character be a stereotype, and it went.
Yeah. The thing is that if you're going to say, I need to actively represent a person, you're going to go to a stereotype. That just is what it is, you know? I need to represent someone who is of this group. Well, it's going to be based upon a stereotype, because stereotypes are not necessarily wrong. They're just what is the average in that group, or what's perceived to be the average in that group. Saying black people like fried chicken. Well, yeah, also duh, because fried chicken is delicious. Well, when
Indeed.
done
Everybody loves
correctly.
fried chicken.
There is
But
terrible
anyway,
fried chicken, by the way.
there
But
is.
yeah, I mean that's a thing. But it's like, okay, well, let's just say that that's a thing. Or black people tend to like hip hop music. Yeah, okay.
And YouTube,
So,
she's black. Stop.
yeah, half black, but whatever.
We're
sorry. I'm sorry.
half
For the
black
case of this,
Meg.
yes, that's right. According to the rules of the black community, if you have any black in you, if they feel like
All right.
claiming you, they will.
Meg's got to
That's how it
change her
goes.
name to half black Meg.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Quarter black Garrett, half black Meg.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so frustrating. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. Stereotypes are actually a thing. They actually do exist, but pulling people, the thing is that if you're going to try to not be offensive, you want to not play to a stereotype, and unfortunately a lot of these groups only live in the stereotype. They only find validation in being part of a homogenous group.
I'm convinced that their entire mindset is the stereotype at this point.
They are the Borg.
That's all they are. It's like
they're the Borg of blackness.
Oh,
one might say
whatever they are at this point.
Yes. Yeah, and
I mean, it's their entire personality. You're trans. Okay, so what? And then you just got to remind you all the time that they are.
Yeah, and the thing, there's a difference between culture and color, that they're not the same. I am culturally not exactly what you'd call quote unquote black. I was raised in a black neighborhood. I was raised with a family, and I mean, I didn't even know I was half Mexican until I was much older. So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I have the quote unquote black experience, but I don't do things that are in the mean, in the average, what quote unquote black people do as an average. But the thing is that to tell me, anyone who tells me that I'm black, well, they can screw right off, because no, you cannot take my ancestry from me, you idiot. I have a friend who's
black enough.
I have a friend who's white, and I keep telling her because I think it's funny, because there's a group of us, and there's like two of us are black and one of us is white, and the white one, I keep telling her, I'm like, you're blacker than both of us put together. It's so funny. Because she is, hoop earrings, sometimes wears braids because reasons, and loves the R&B and the stuff, and she's like, oh, you know this group? I totally don't, but I will tell you tomorrow about Anya's new album that's coming up, because I'm excited. So
well, that makes one of us.
No, you can't be excited about Anya. You can fall asleep to Anya. You can be like, I'm gonna have a good nap tomorrow. It's gonna be amazing. That's
Anya is.
You'll if you hear one of her songs, you'd know. It's music to burn incense, take a good nap, have a good cry too, or something like that. It's just
all things I don't do.
Anyway. But if you want to relax, you listen to Enya, basically.
Yeah, it like Return to Innocence is legit relaxing. Okay, next one.